Hi everyone. I wanted to talk about I don't know. I just feel like sharing this video, and even though it could be looked upon as evil or wrong in many ways, but I just feel like I need to share it. And I guess before I get into it, I guess I can say that it could be something that can help us evolve like never before. And I guess it could help us evolve from a trajectory of the population now to what it will be 10 years from now or 20 years from now. And what I'm talking about is breeding humans and having breeding facilities. Yeah, breeding facilities. I don't know why my camera's not working. But these human I was thinking something like this. But on a large artificial wombs, but on a large scale. And what this would do, it will not only help us to expand and evolve much faster, it will help us to it will help us to colonize Mars and other very like livable habitats for us humans, because we can't look at the problem, people, because the problem will always be there. We got to look at the possibilities and the positive. And the positive will be that we can educate all these people that are born, and then I think that we will be able to test them and get a hold of some of the ones that are intelligent and wise, and and further evolve the world that we live in, because different tests can be performed. I guess a big factor for this obviously will be human trafficking, which is also a problem. But I'm not focused on it. Um, See, so it's just about coming up with solutions to the problem or problems, and that's not difficult to do. And obviously, you know, there's always going to be negative, but that's always dealt with one way or another, one form or another. What I'm talking about is much bigger than the problem. It's a solution, and I guess it's not about who has the most money. It's about who will be able to contribute to the world more. And I'm talking futurely, as the world gets on the level of evolution and evolving the mind, not just, you know, us colonizing Mars or whatever, but like just evolutionizing our minds, and so we can think beyond our limitations.
Okay, so what I just left off there in that recording, and obviously, this is the same me. Camera's working, my iMac is working again. It got shut down. However, yeah, I was talking about the evolution of the human species on not just a global scale, but a universal scale. You know, in planetary scale, where different tests and stuff can be performed. And if you guys go on the internet right now and do a like how many humans are in the world, 7.7 billion. See, so with this artificial intelligence, the birth thing, we could probably double this in a matter of years. And I'm talking about this can be done in a year or two. And see, I wrote some notes down here, and it is true that artificial intelligence is going to grow with obviously with the technology that we have today and the resources that we have today. And I wrote we practically won't be able to recognize or tell the difference from a natural human born child to an artificial natural born child, human child. So we, in a sense, are going to become lost in this ecosystem of human bodies, because this 7.7 billion is most likely a natural human born child, not an artificial natural born child. So we have to remember that we are going to become lost in this system, and not necessarily lost like where am I at. I'm talking about, like today there's surgeries being performed on males to become females and females to become men. And just like that, you're walking down the street and you could be hitting on, you could be like trying to get at a girl, but in reality it's a male that turned into a female, or vice versa. And that's their own thing. We're not talking down on that at all. What I'm saying though is that in the same manner, you're going to be walking around and you're going to encounter these different people, and you're obviously not going to be able to know the difference. Maybe they will be marked. Maybe they won't. But even either or however that works out, it won't really matter, because we will be able to track who is who and who is not. And just like the humans now with the fingerprints, we're able to recognize who's who by that. And so we are going to learn so much so fast, and it's going to be like what the Bible says. And I wrote a note down here that it says, the Bible says that Abram, who later became Abraham, God said he will be the father of many nations. His seed will be as the grains of the seashore. See, so that's a promise. It's a promise that God gave humans, or you could say like a prophet or like a prophecy to the world, that it was going to be so saturated with people. And I mean, I guess I don't really have to go, but um, I guess I could just do a quick search here. And I don't know if you guys ever grab, a little handful of sand, but it's a lot of grains. It's way more than 7.7. No, well, it's not more than 7.7 billion, but I mean, just it's probably like a million grains. Probably, I don't know, maybe not, but there's a lot. So for the Bible to be accurate and to fulfill prophecy, then this will have to be conducted in order for that to be brought into existence. And the interesting about this is that if you go back in the Bible, with Noah's Ark, and then there's humans having intercourse with angels. See, Nephilim, Wikipedia, then Nephilim were the offspring of the sons of God. The sons of God have been interpreted as fallen angels in some traditional Jewish explanations. And the first occurrence is in Genesis 6, chapter 6, verse 1 through 4. Immediately before the account of Noah's Ark, Genesis 6:4 reads as follows. And obviously it's going to go into more depth into what's going on, and then why God decided to flood the world and all this other crazy stuff that happened. But according to Genesis chapter 6, 1 through 4, a similar or identical biblical Hebrew term read as Nephilim by some scholars, or as the word fallen by others, appears in Ezekiel 32:27. When people began to multiply on the face of the ground and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that they were fair, and they took wives for themselves of all that they chose. Then the Lord said, my spirit shall not abide in mortals forever, for they are flesh. Their days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went into the daughters of humans, who bore children to them. These were the heroes that were of old, warriors of renown. Genesis chapter 6, 1 through 4, New Revised Standard Version. See, and this is stuff that you don't even that you don't even go to church and hear about. So I'm covering new ground here, so bear with me. The word is loosely translated as giants in some Bibles and left untranslated in others. The sons of God have been interpreted as fallen angels in some traditional Jewish explanations. According to Numbers chapter 3, verse 33, they later inhabited Canaan at the time of the Israelite conquest of Canaan. The Lord said to Moses, send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the Israelites. So they went up and spied out the land, and they told him, yet the people who live in the land are strong, and the towns are fortified and very large. And besides, we saw the descendants of Anak there. So they brought to the Israelites an unfavorable report of the land that they had spied out, saying, the land that we have gone through as spies is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people that we saw in it are of great size. There we saw the Nephilim, the Anakites came from the Nephilim, and to ourselves we seem like grasshoppers, and so we seem to them. Numbers chapter 6, 1 through 4, 21, 27 through 28, 32 through 33, New Revised Standard Version. So, see right here, I just gave you guys a quick, brief explanation of maybe the real genetics and science behind all this. I have no idea. I'm not a scientist. I'm sorry. But but so you guys see here that like history is going to repeat itself, and history is repeating itself because God also, and we can look it up, God destroyed the world in Sodom and Gomorrah, and there was male and male relationships and female to female relationships. Okay, homosexuality in the Hebrew Bible, and this is Wikipedia, homosexuality in the Hebrew Bible. I guess you guys can go in here and read all this stuff if you guys are interested yourselves. I guess I could leave a link for you people that are interested in this stuff that want to talk about it. That's up to you. But my main thing is, see, it's history repeating itself, and I'm not saying God is or isn't going to destroy the world. I'm not saying any of that, but I'm just saying, we see clearly today, male, see, this is the male homosexuality, and obviously this is what you would have probably seen at the times of the Old Testament, and then obviously there's the female homosexuality, so we kind of see patterns of the Old Testament in the Bible, and then we could kind of see the rising of the technology, because the Bible also says in the last days wisdom will increase, and wisdom will increase in the last days. These are some images from Google here, but I guess I could see it's in Daniel chapter 12 verse 4. It says, "But you, Daniel, roll up and seal the words of the scroll until the time of the end. Many will go here and there to increase knowledge. There's Revelation 22 verse 10. Do not seal you should not seal Daniel. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird translation. 12:4. I already read that. Revelation 22:10. Do not seal up the words of the prophecy of this scroll, because the time is near. So that's a Bible study, verses 9, 10, and 11. It says, "But he said to me, do not do that. I am a fellow servant with you and your brothers the prophets, and with those who keep the words of this book. Worship God." I think that's when the angel appeared to John, and John wanted to worship him and bow down to him. And the angel told him, "No, you don't need to do that." Then he told me, "Do not seal up the words of the prophecy in this book, because the time is near. Let the unrighteous continue to be unrighteous, and the vile continue to be vile. Let the righteous continue to practice righteousness, and the holy continue to be holy." But anyway, see, so there's a lot of things, and obviously there's going to be a lot of people concerned, because they're going to look at the problem. Oh, how are we going to make money? Oh, who's going to support these children? Oh, who's going to adopt them? Well, these children can actually be sold, and families could adopt them, and obviously with the technology that we have, we will be able to basically get the best teaching available in their brains. And thank God for all the the internet, the World Wide Web, and all that stuff. And yeah, that's one way that it could be done. And there's many other ways. There's a million other ways how this could work, and it will work. So there is no excuse how it can't work. As a matter of fact, I believe that maybe we are in this paradox, if you will, already, because God placed us here in the world. So God placed us here in the world. And of course, you're probably going to see a picture of Adam and Eve somewhere in here. There it is, probably. I don't know. But even so, that's something that we could do in Mars and other places in the world. But see, the thing will be then, the other thing will be how how do humans go? How do they duplicate? How do these people become, two, then become 4 or 6 or 8 or 10 or 7.7 billion? Obviously, they need food. They need something to consume. So I'm assuming that we are probably given these animals to consume, from an outsource, like an outside source, because we are overpopulated, as some will probably state, you know, but I don't think we are. I really don't think we are. And I think people that think that we are, and people that think, oh, we should reduce the human population, then maybe we should start with you. Yeah. How about that? Just for the record, right? And I mean, what is there to prove or disprove this? There isn't any proof. You see? So we're gonna get so involved and so trapped in, not trapped, but intermingled together. And this is the future. This is gonna happen regardless. Whether whatever I say or anyone says, it's bound to happen. And when it does happen, we're gonna become so intermingled with one another that we're not gonna be able to decipher or like know who's who, unless there's some type of database that can distinguish one from another, or maybe a birthmark or something. That's probably the only way. But then when they have children, their children want to have that birthmark, and so it this will allow us to push and advance further out into space, um, push ourselves as humans with what we can and can't do, in our limited thinking, like, oh, robots are going to take over the world. What are we going to do for jobs? Like, that's an elementary thought. That's a thought like, what, 20 years ago or longer. You know what I mean? So, um, with with Elon Musk and NASA and all them trying to take humans to colonize Mars and other planets, I think that this is a great way to do it, because think about it. We can do semen inseminations like animals, like we do for animals. And we could do that the same thing for humans, because right now you could literally walk into a store and you can um, donate your sperm. Yeah, you can literally do it right there and donate your sperm, and they'll pay you a certain amount of money. And then if a mother wants, I mean, if a woman wants to, become pregnant, she could look at all these, handsome men in a catalog, and then they could do filters. Oh, I want the blue eyes. So now it shows all the men that donated their sperm with blue eyes. Oh, I want the man with blue eyes but blonde hair. Then it'll show that. So it's like you're shopping, and this is where we're going, and this is where we're at, and you're gonna be able to choose that, and you can already. But in the same way, instead of taking human life from Earth and then transferring it to Mars, which will require more resources wasted and more energy and all that stuff, more space, it'll probably be better just to, get these children to be born out there, these human lives that will grow and live in that system, And obviously, we're not thinking about the problems. We're not thinking about how are we going to find food or any of that. We're going to find it. It's gonna be available in one form or another. And um, I believe that we don't need to worry about that. The main thing, obviously, is to keep advancing, keep pushing, and keep growing and understanding our minds and each other, not presently but futuristically. And once we understand that, then we will be able to do way more than we ever possibly could, not because of us, but because of what we did for others. And these children are going to grow up and they're going to become way smarter than us. They're the ones that are going to open up doors of new knowledge and wisdom, and they're going to be able to go places where we have never been able to go and experience things we've never been able to experience. So therefore, their mindset is going to be obviously completely different from our mindset, because we were born here. We Some of us didn't really have to struggle as much, but these people will, and they're going to struggle a lot. So they're going to be placed under extreme pressures and um, different trials and errors and survival. You know, so it's nothing to be laughed at, nothing to take lightly. This is, after all, these are human lives that we're talking about. They're not, um, animals. So yeah, and I believe that just as God loves us, I believe that God loves them just as much, because in our semen, the semen that's donated, it contains life, and we are able to freeze it for a reason. And thanks to science, we're able to do that. And not only that, but we're able to implant that in a woman and allow it to grow from there. And who knows, maybe we'll be able to do it at a faster rate, a much faster scale. And we need to do that fast, ASAP, because, like I said, it's not about us, it's about the future, because we're all going to die. Whether it's 50, 100 years from now, we're all going to die. And, like, what did we do? What did we accomplish? It's been over, they say, a few thousand years, and we're still on the earth. We still haven't been out. We still haven't gone out, besides like 1940 or whatever, when we stepped on the moon. But that's as far as we have gone that I know of. Besides telescopes and maybe Mars, maybe we have people there on Mars already. That's top secret and classified. I have no idea. But even if it is, it's at a small rate, small scale. And I mean, how fast do we want this to progress? And not just that, but who's really contributing and who's not contributing? And I believe that the algorithms can find these people, and not, just people that are here on Earth right now, but these new children, and I think that they could be trained differently to adapt or to think differently, maybe because they could be placed in a different environment, and if they're placed in a different living environment, then automatically by default they will think differently and adapt to those living conditions that are around them, and then you know many tests can be done, and they can be performed. Um, obviously, this is all done under the name of science and medical research and development and a bunch of other things. Um, so it's not very far fetched at all. Um, but yeah, I guess our imaginations can't even go beyond that. We can't even see past Mars. We can't even see that. It's not built in us. It's not programmed in us. Our understanding there stops. See what I'm talking about? So imagine if we populated the world so much that we were able to do way more than we are right now and reach further. And then it won't be a just a dream. It will be something that everyone will be striving and working towards, um, and it'll be accomplished at at a steady pace but fast growing. And I know this sounds a little bit weird, and I know a lot of people might be skeptical or whatever, but I'm not talking to you. You're just thinking about work and what you could eat and what boyfriend you could be with, what boyfriend you could marry. That's all you're thinking about. And that's okay. Who doesn't think about that? I'm talking about futuristic stuff. And you're just gonna be just like another couple in the past that had children, and then their children had children, and then their children had children. That's all you're going to be. So if you want to be involved with this, you have to look way beyond that. You got to get out of that eggshell and burst out of that thing. And not everyone is programmed the same. And it's just very important. And I guess, if you think that way, then that's fine, because you're just history to everyone. And I'm not saying that rudely. I'm just saying, 10 years from now, no, 100 years from now, 200 years from now, they're going to be like, hey, what happened to this person? Oh, nothing. They're just working, and they had children, their children had children, their children had children, and so on and so forth. That's your history. That's the legacy that you left behind. I mean, how more plainer can I get? So, I'm not trying to talk crap. But if you're not on this level of thinking for progression and reaching further out and doing more, then you're watching the wrong video, bro. You're just this is just gonna create some weird imaginary picture in your mind, and all you're gonna remember was, man, there's this weird dude on YouTube just talking about growing humans and selling them and adopting and for other people to adopt or whatever. That's all you're gonna remember, without really analyzing all the information, so you could have a better, clearer message to give people, other than that which I just described. So the main thing now is performing tests. And I guess if we could reduce it to, mother is 8 to 9 months, I believe. If we could reduce it to 4 months, then the population will rise drastically. If we could do it in under a month, that will even be way better. And I don't know if it's possible, but I believe that it can be, even if the child has to stay within the confinement for 5 months to 9 months to fully develop and be strengthened without any air molecules and other elements that can harm it, him or her. And then it could be released, and then obviously it could be obviously given to these mothers that want a child of their choosing in the magazine, with all the filters, with all the cool filters. Oh, GPA level. Oh, smart. Oh, beautiful. Oh, whatever. Here it is. Here's your baby. Give us the money. We will just burn it all. Here's your child. Take care of it. As a matter of fact, here's your money back. Raise it. Here's a few videos to train your child, to teach it, to raise it upright. This is going to create more jobs, more job opportunities for people around the world. It's going to challenge everyone to think differently according to business and all that. And I know personally, I dropped some other videos on YouTube and Facebook, and mostly YouTube, on my YouTube account. And it's talking about, just simply adding, like having a Facebook account and just adding products there, and then for people to buy without you having to do any back end work. Imagine what that would do to the internet industry. If you could just go there, select products that you like, and then instantly sell them. And if someone buys it, you get paid right directly to your account without doing any back work, without anything. That's it. You just drag and drop, and then boom, it's there. That's your store. That simple. No BS. No, oh, you have to get a URL. You have to get, SSL. Oh, you have to get all these other crazy things. Oh, you have to sign up to this or and sign up to that, and go through WordPress, and then go through all these different channels and avenues. Like, no, you're straight plugged in. You're plugged in right away. You're connected. That's what I'm talking about. And once you do that, obviously, people that are making millions and millions of dollars and billions of dollars, they're gonna become devastated. Oh my God! All these other people are taking our business. Wait a minute, who said it was your business? You know, what it really is a control system, and these people are controlling the market, and and saturating, and stepping on toes, and stomping on everyone else. So that's great. Continue doing that. What do you guys want? For this to continue another 10 years? For your children to do the same thing? You're going to raise your child up to do what you're doing right now? To continue taking advantage of people? Well, that's fine. But in the future, everyone's going to be given these capabilities and tools. And this is going to stress everyone out on a major scale and put so much pressure on everyone that it's going to cause people to think differently and to evolve. And what we didn't think of 10 years from now or ago, 10 years ago, to 10 years into the future is going to change so much that people that are billionaires right now within their industry are going to be, what is the word, flabbergasted. Like, WTF, mate? Why didn't I think about that? And that's because you were challenged. And that's not to say that you can't hire or adopt these children to work for you, and to or just hire people in the free market. There's no one stopping you from hiring anyone in any industry. You just go on Craigslist, post an ad up. Someone thinks they know that they could do that, and as long as they could tell you they know how to do it and kind of show you, and they're well trained and learned, then you hire them on the spot. Like, you're the man for the job. Get this done. Okay, they get it done. It's that simple. It doesn't even matter how much schooling they had or didn't have. If they could do the job, then that's all you need. That's all you care about. So that's the same thing that's going to happen here with this stuff. And it's going to be a hit and miss, of course, but I think with the wisdom and knowledge that we have acquired throughout the years of trial and error, and with the computers, with algorithms, then we'll be able to decipher who's who and who they're working for or who they're not working for. And those that understand what I'm talking about understand completely. And that's all that matters. You see, so The world is going to continue as usual. Nothing's going to change, just like it is right now. A mother wants a child, fine. Here's your filters. Here's your magazine. Here's your baby. How many do you want? As a matter of fact, we opened up a new program. You could have not only one, you could have freaking 5 if you want. And we'll even pay you. Why not? You're a full-time mother, babysitter. Now every woman in the world could do it. Now every woman in the world is raising these children. And men as well. And they're getting paid for it. Like I said, don't think about the negative. We're only thinking about the positive. So, 1,000 years from now, this will continue. And we have just infested the universe. So much so. We've learned many ways to communicate. We've learned many ways to travel. We've learned so much. We've learned so much that we could probably just speak, and whatever we speak is there. Like God did in the beginning of time. God spoke and so it was. Can't you do that now? You ask your devices, hey, play this song. It plays that song. You could probably even just think about it and it will happen at this point. There is no enemy. Because every enemy is under the law. And then I don't even know which ones are real and which ones are fake. But just let me click on one for demonstration purposes. Then it's just us, all of us, as one, just scattered. But yet connected, like a small family inside a house. the abolishment of many things will have taken effect. We're all living in peace. We're all still evolving. We're all still trying to reach out further and further from our current surroundings, certain situations. It seems never ending, and it will be for eternity. This is all going to happen at a blink of an eye. And it's going to happen so fast that the majority of the population will have no control over it. It will happen so fast that maybe only those that really believe will even be considered. And God knows who's who and who's not. I mean, everyone would wish that it was them God would choose. But would you hire a tweaker to serve your guest at your new luxurious restaurant? Of course not. Why would you? That would be, in world's terms, disrespectful. Their hands are not washed, they have no clean clothing, and a bunch of other things that fit the description perfectly and illustrate my point. So, in the same way, are you going to be found worthy? And that really is subject to the things you do and say in your daily life. Because everything we do, everything we say is monitored and recorded. Whether it's by a camera that we have access to or not. And that data, whether we have access to it or not, I mean, everything in this green, brown, blue planet, every square inch is being monitored and recorded. Anything underground is being monitored and recorded. Anything above us is monitored and recorded. Manholes, caves, mines. Or what people consider a mine to be a mine. It's all monitored and recorded. We have technology now that can do x-rays below ground level, and it can detect any hollow points. That's just our technology. That's not talking about God's technology and his army's technology. Nothing is hidden. Everything is evident. Everything is open. And people could think whatever they want to think. And that's why I was trying to explain in the beginning, like, this video could sound weird, but I just felt like sharing it. It just something within me just felt like like I should get it out and share it, because what I'm talking about is the future. The accurate, focused future of humanity. And these people are fully focused. No one's messing around here. That's the great thing about it. While we, on the other hand, could sleep in. Some of us party so much, we're sick of partying so much. Some of us are still trying to learn as much as we can, when we should have learned that 10 years ago. That's why these artificial babies, real natural babies, are going to be beyond our time, beyond anything we could ever imagine or think. And they're going to just blow our minds. They're going to take us out. And that's the great thing about it, people. I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. I really can't wait. And it's not sexual. Nothing is sexual. Everyone's protected. It's not even about looks and shit. So that's the first thing people think about. Don't think about that. Don't think about anything negative. Don't think about anything negative, people. It's purity in its finest form. It really is. Trust me. But yeah, go ahead and read this right here. And there's a bunch of other things. Obviously, this is simplest terms. You really want to learn what this is talking about, you have to dive in and look for the gold. You know, like you're not just gonna go into the ocean and expect to swim down there and climb out or swim out with a bag of gold blocks. No, no, definitely not. But unfortunately for now, we still have a lot of learning to do. You know, like from what I heard, we're like killing off everything on Earth. Like we're basically destroying ourselves. But um, or maybe I should say destroying. Destroying. Oh, this is a nice Earth picture. Now this is a real Earth picture. Um, Maybe I should say destroying our Earth. See? Everything. It's like we're consuming everything. See, and this is negative. So education will allow us to bring these things back. See, this is someone's projection of the Earth and how it will look like. Um, oh, I heard this is real right here, real and fake. Uh, I heard this is real though. But anyway, yeah, like look at all this, and the great thing about it is that we're gonna come up with a solution. Like all this stuff right here can be remelted and reused. It can be reused for something. It doesn't just have to be out there. It could be a tool. It could be a hammer, plastic hammer. It could be something, and with education, we're gonna find solutions for these problems. Definitely, this is just a learning experience. This is not the end. This is uneducated people littering. I litter too, I admit. But I know I shouldn't. See, and that's the difference with educated and uneducated, right? Everyone would admit to that. So, see this? See, there's a bunch of things. There's a bunch of things going on. You know? But, see, because think about it, people. This is not a problem. This is not a bad problem. This is not a bad problem. It's not. This is not a bad problem. This is actually a good problem. And I'll tell you guys why. And the reason why is because all this litter out there, all this plastic and stuff that's floating out there, it's a good problem. Why? The reason why is because you don't have to go dig a fucking mine to locate this shit. It's there. All we got to do is pick it up and reuse it or whatever, but it's there. So I don't know what the fucking big deal is. People are just bitching and complaining. And like, you know, it pisses me off because we have these trash dumps and we're doing the same crap. Waste. We're throwing all this stuff back into the ground and covering it, and later on we're going to need it. So what we're doing, other people are going out there and risking their fucking lives and dying literally by means of accidents or whatever, trying to get these resources, these valuable resources, for us to just turn around and cover them back up in the dirt. Doesn't make sense. See, so it's not a bad problem. Obviously, there's older inventions. We're growing. See, there's motherboards and all that. But that's why it's important to keep a close record of every single detail and every single invention so we could know exactly, or every company in the world, if something is discontinued, they could take from every single device, and that could be a job for people. Who's gonna want to do that? Well, we have plenty of people to do that now. Thank God for that, right? And we're using real gold on some of the technology motherboards and all that stuff for better conductivity or whatever it might be. And it could be 0.01 ounces of gold per every device. Some people could say, oh, whatever, but you add that up, it could equal to a lot of money and a lot of resources that can be recycled and reused. Because later on, it seems like to me like we're gonna be undigging these things again, these dump sites, to try our best to try to grab whatever we can to make some money off of, to make a living. Look at these people. These people are there collecting bottles and plastic. I would too if I was in their situation. And that must be hard work. But they're doing it, and it's creating jobs. And I even thought about a way where, what if, I was thinking like, what if a company, the government created a company where they go around and collect these bottles and plastic that are reusable or recyclable, and instead of waiting for residential people to take them to the place, they could actually just leave them there at home, collect them, and like every week, like when the dump comes, the dump trucks, they could weigh it out there and then give the homeowner a check. Here you go, here you go, here you go. And they go to your home. Imagine that. In the businesses are throwing cardboards away, a bunch of other things, used straws and whatever else. All that could be recycled all over again. And it might sound funny, but that's why we're broke. That's why we don't have anything. Think about it. Imagine a whole case of straws. That's probably like maybe $5 or to $1. I don't know. But imagine that those straws are just being used once and then they get thrown away. Imagine if you were able to recollect all those straws at some way, some form, and there's millions of different businesses out there and companies that are using these straws. So imagine collecting all of them. How much profit that'll bring in? It'll bring in a lot of money, and it'll help the world recycle and to be economically clean, I guess, or like globally clean and sanitized and like hygiene or whatever, a green, less pollution, less animals getting confused and accidentally biting your nuts off. But yeah, there's so many things um, that we have yet to learn, and obviously it's just you know it's just education and having the smarts to do a certain hustle, because I mean there's so many rich people out there. What's stopping them from hiring a bunch of these poor people and making them go through these dump sites and scrapping all these parts and recycling them? They'll probably make way more money than trying to sell hamburgers or clothing or running a store. This is a full-time job right here. And if, someone is trained to do one particular task, just like, for example, removing tires from every vehicle in the world, then they could do that such a fast rate that they're going to be able to reuse that and bring it back into the market, I mean, because what's happening to all this stuff? We're just burying it back into the ground. I mean, are we burning it, melting it down? Like, what are we doing? I personally have no idea. Um, but there's a lot of stuff out there, and I guess another man's trash is another man's treasure, and only because say you're a billionaire or a millionaire or whatever, say a billionaire, and this is another way where you can make money. Honestly, just hire these people, make more money, create jobs. You're gonna be blessing these people. It's just it's just it's almost like impossible that all this even exists. All this trash right here. A mountain of trash. More like a mountain of treasure. Literally. You know? And there's people out there that are willing to do this just for food, just for shelter. But your local church wants 10% of your money. When these people are willing to do whatever it takes just to get a free meal. Fuck, you might as well allow them to move into your house so they can work for you and clean up your fucking house and your car and everything else that comes along with that shit. Just for a meal. Like I said, it's all about education. There's so many things out there. And it's easy to do the math. Fuck the fucking medical benefits and shit. Make them write a fucking waiver. I don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck. No one gives a fuck. I guess those that do give a fuck will make a law for those that don't give a fuck. So until then, do what the fuck you gotta do and get this shit recycled. Like, I mean, if I was a billionaire, that's what I would do. Literally. Like, who the fuck wouldn't? Like, Who wouldn't want to hire 10 people, pay them $10 an hour to make you at least 20, you know? And all they got to do is go pick up bottles all day long. And every day, they're bringing in the same quota. They're duplicating your money. The banks don't even do that shit. And you're helping people stay alive. You're feeding people. You're creating jobs. See, so it's mind-boggling. And not just that, but it would definitely create like less clutter everywhere, you know? And all these elements can be rightfully contained for future inventions and products that are yet to, hit the market. This will probably be a good problem. Why? Because you business people out there that are using plastic, the value of plastic will probably go down because they'll have so much of it. So no wonder you're getting fucking taxed up the ass with fucking, CRV and all this other shit that that you have to put into your product, and it's costing so much. Well, look at where all the plastic is going. That's why. Look at all these little fucking toys in here. All this colorful shit. All these little fucking baskets and shit. All these chairs and shit. That's where your fucking inventions went when they got broke and cracked. They went in the trash. Like, who the fuck wants a broken fucking chair? No one does. But that shit's just getting covered in the fucking mountain. Eventually, we're gonna need more plastic. Where the fuck are we getting all this plastic from anyway? That we could just cover it and throw it away like that. Hello? Is anyone hearing me? I mean, can I hear an amen? Anyway, see? So, I mean, we got mountains of trash. Look at this. This guy's just laying on a mountain of trash. That's just unreal, unbelievable. That's unreal. That's just crazy. That is crazy, right? A mountain of trash. And who's doing this? What company's doing this? There's really a company that just creates a mountain of trash? Shit. I can't even make a mountain of fucking rocks without getting the fucking cops called on me. Fuck. I should just end this shit right here, huh? That was that killer line. Anyway. God's watching us, people.